Mohanji and Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for the Kickass Growth series. This is a program that aims to bring people of different cultures, traditions, and religions together on one platform where all are able to share their journey with their spiritual master, which means a guru, and how their faith as well as surrender has allowed grace to flow into their lives. This is but a touch of love and grace spread through all of these programs and many others, which focuses on oneness and similarities rather than how we all are different. So let's see how we can all learn from each other. Do enjoy.
Namaste, devotees. Thank you so much for attending our second satsang with the pujaris. Today we're going to be speaking about what it is to be a pujari, what it means to us, and what rituals mean in our lives. Then we will be following that up with a satsang. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahe Shiva Tadvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodaya. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahe Shiva Tatvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodaya. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahe Shiva Tatvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodaya. Jai Mohanji to all. Welcome again to today. So today's topic is, what does it mean to actually be a pujari? So our journey started a year and a half ago when Swamiji just told us, in a few weeks you guys are going to be invited to become pujaris. So at this stage, I personally didn't know what this meant. I've always watched our Swamiji perform pujas at ashram, recite mantras in specific ways, do havans, and always that wonder was behind in the back of my mind as to why he does specific things, why he does a ritual in a certain way, why does he pronounce mantras in a certain way, what does this all really mean? You feel that energy flow when he chants a mantra, but as we know, he always explains to us further and further. So this gave us an opportunity to learn from Swamiji what it truly means to do pujas, to become a pujari. So the first puja that we were taught to do is called Guru Puja. That puja is a puja whereby we do weekly offerings to the Guru of our parampara, our tradition, who is Brahma Rishi Mohanji. Now, when we do this Guru Puja is firstly done not just to Mohanji, but to all the Gurus of the Nath Sampradaya, or not just of this time, but the full cycle of Gurus for all the lineages. Now, when we first got into our training, we got in there and we sat down, and all of us were a bit nervous because you still had to go through a phase of really choosing whether this is something for you. And I remember reading the message from Swamiji so in depth that this is a choice you get to make, whether you want to be a pujari or don't want to be a pujari. But being a pujari is about sacrifice, but not saying that you are sacrificing your life and everything that goes with it, but understanding sacrifice meaning the betterment for all mankind, the betterment for all people, the betterment for all people of all traditions. The sacrifice to learn unconditional love, which in essence that word fell off so fast because it didn't become a sacrifice, it became an absolute blessing to us. We were getting taught a tool that could break all of us, break these barriers that we had built up over lifetimes of birth and death, this barrier of tradition, of religions, this barrier of separation between people. We were starting to really transform through this tradition, transform into beings that just offered unconditional love to all around us. So how was this even possible? In the beginning of these meetings, there is fire. As everybody knows, our tradition is fire. So Mohanji always says that the only time that you will be available to be in a certain tradition or available for a master is through eligibility. If you're sitting wherever you are right now and you have a tradition, you have your guru, you have been eligible for this guru. This is unbelievably great. This means that you have achieved something extremely wonderful in your life so far. So we were grateful that Baba had blessed us and thought, we have done something good to receive this blessing from him. Now it was our opportunity to take what he taught us, what he was giving us, his blessing, his initiation, to the world, to all people around us, with his unconditional love. We say his love because being initiated into being a pujari is not just about, I have been initiated, this is something that happened, we carry on. An initiation is a process whereby Baba himself flows through you. You empty yourself out. He empties you out and starts to fill you more and more and more. I remember times before we had started doing pujas, times when I would get upset with so many situations happening around us. If someone would say something about me, or someone would say something or do something against somebody that I loved and cared about, or someone would do anything that did not feel right with my concepts that I had created in this mind, the bondages that we have over times. And because of Guru Puja, these were the bondages that actually began to break away. Step by step, all that hurt that you had felt between yourself and others fell away. This was replaced by unconditional love. All the hatred you would feel towards somebody washes away, replaced by unconditional love. All the jealousy, the anguish, basically all the feelings that you would resent towards others start to wash away. And this wasn't just a once-off period where one day you just wake up and this happens. It was slow, happening piece by piece, week by week. Every Guru Puja this happened. And why did this happen? This happened because the more we did Guru Puja, the more we learned that every puja that we sat down to do was not an offering for us, for the pujaris. It wasn't an offering that did anything in terms of our liberation. This was just our way to serve Mohanji with the use of Mohanji for Mohanji. So to explain that further, Mohanji always says, when you exist, I cannot exist. So only one can exist because there is only truly one. Therefore, all the items we utilize for offerings are actually Mohanji because that is all his energy. We offer to Mohanji because that is our Guru. That is who we are offering our gratitude to. And furthermore, that energy, this person inside us, this energy, our soul that's activated, is him. And this is the understanding that becomes. So for me, what happened was, there was a time when I was getting upset with a certain situation that was happening. And I remember during Guru Puja being frustrated, and I said to Baba, Baba, what is this that these people are doing? Why are they trying to hurt everybody so much? All we are doing is trying to be good. And while this thought was running in my mind, Swamiji picks up his head and says, offer unconditional love. This is all you need to do. So I thought about this, about what he said. Why did he actually say this? So I went back to another conversation he had with me, where he said, whenever you feel this hurt, offer unconditional love to these people, and then watch transformation truly happen. Because through hatred can only be more hatred, but through love can only be more love. And so I started visualizing in my mind, in my heart, that each offering going to that person's soul, I pictured them. I put each offering into their heart center. Thank you for being present in our life. Whatever we were supposed to go through together, we have been through. I thank you. And we did, and this happened. And mark my words, within the space of 2 weeks, such a transformation of love had occurred that you knew it was only Mohanji. You knew Mohanji had broken that barrier. All that binding of that quarrels and issues just fell away. So I said, wow, look at what you've done, Mohanji. You've created so much love out of such a situation. This must be a secret that has happened. We have to do this more. And so I started doing this more. And now, when we sit down to do our Guru Pujas, every single devotee of Baba's, every single devotee outside of this tradition, all our friends, I have friends that are Christian, I have friends that are Muslim, I have friends that are Satguru followers, I have friends that are Sri Sri Ravi Shankar followers. But in my heart, when I sit down to do Guru Puja, I think about all of you. I think about everybody. I think about the offerings to all of you. Because if I can offer to all of you, that is offering to Mohanji. It's offering to the Guru inside of you. This is what true love is. True love is seeing your Guru in every single person. Being a Pujari is about seeing this true love, this unconditional love for your Guru in absolutely everybody. This is what it means to me to be a Pujari. So when it comes to rituals are so important. Waking up in the morning and doing your aarti, just turning your lamp in the morning, is offering that aarti not just to the frames in front of you, but that offering is going inside to your soul, because you are always one with God. Therefore, when we sit for doing our pujas, especially the Guru Puja, we are always taught each offering, you're taking the energy from inside you with all Baba's unconditional love, and it is being offered. So we do each of these offerings. If we are taking Baba with his energy and offering Baba to himself, that energy has to go back to Baba. This is why everyone would feel differently after Guru Puja. Some people might feel very awake and very ecstatic. Some people might not sleep. I have issues sleeping after Guru Puja because this unconditional love, this energy of Mohanji keeps firing inside you at such a pace that this frequency vibrates inside you. Each ritual is meant to grow something inside you. Each ritual will increase the frequency inside you, depending on how it's done, how your mantra is chanted, what you do and how you perform the prayer. If we perform these rituals with awareness, I wouldn't say complete awareness, because because it's hard. Everybody is still human, and these things happen. Somebody can be doing their puja with such concentration, and then something will click in their head. So when these do happen, and when thoughts start flowing in your mind when you are performing, whether that's meditation or a ritual, let those things flow. This is Baba's way of clearing these things. This is the tradition's way of clearing these things. It's very good when those things happen. It means you're doing something right. Don't ever take it as something wrong and stop and hold on to it. The moment you hold on to it, you begin to let this fester, let this grow inside you. But what is the point of that? Because as we've said before, if we're focusing on unconditional love, the rest of it starts to flow away. So it has to flow away some way. We have to let it move its own pace at its own time and let it go. But there is a secret method. I would call it the ultimate secret weapon. Sorry. Okay. And this is the next part of our talk that we're going to go on to. So I hope you'll enjoy the part of me speaking about what a pujari is and about rituals. But rituals are in our everyday life, and rituals are part of everything that we do. Whether that be reading a book that has some value into it, any book that per se, whether you go out and do seva, whether you are just helping a person cross a road, you wave at a person, you smile at a person. This is all some sort of goodness that's happening in the world. This could be, your ritual could be waking up in the morning, walking outside, and giving your dog a kiss. But that is your ritual. That is your unconditional love that you are serving for the day. Who is anybody to tell you this is wrong? Now, the same way we do that is the same way that we would offer in terms of all our prayers. And that is where I'll stop on rituals. The next phase will be Naz next week. Now, as I said before we started before we started the satsang, there was a topic last week about acceptance that had begun. But even with this acceptance topic, there was a second topic which arose about surrender. So I would really love to speak to everybody about surrender today and what surrender means. At least what surrender means to me. So I would like to read all of you a little chapter quickly from the Sri Sai Satcharitra. The reason being, this chapter will be the basis of the explanation that I give straight after. Okay. This chapter is called Ordeal of Guru Bhakti. Let us now see how the second cholera audience fared with Baba. This is the life of Shirdi Baba. While it is in force, somebody brought a goat to the masjid. It was weak, old and about to die. At this time, Fakir Pir Muhammad of Malagon, alias Bad Baba, was near. Sai Baba asked him to behead it with one stroke and offer it as an oblation. This Bade Baba was much respected by Sai Baba. He always sat on the right hand of Sai Baba. After the chilam pipe was smoked by him, it was offered to Baba and others. After the dishes were served, at this time of taking meals at noon, Baba respectfully called Bhad Baba and made him sit on his left side, and then all partook of food. Baba paid him also daily 50 rupees out of his amount collected as dakshana. Baba accompanied him hundreds of paces whenever he was going away. Such was his position with Baba. But when Baba asked him to behead the goat, he flatly refused, saying, "Why it should be killed for nothing?" Then Baba asked Shama to kill it. He went to Radha Krishna Mai and brought a knife from her and placed it before Baba. Knowing the purpose of which this knife was taken, she recalled this knife. Then Shama went to bring another knife, but stayed in the Wada and did not return. Then came the turn of Kakasa Dikshit. He was good gold, no doubt, but he had to be tested. Baba asked him to get a knife and kill the goat. He went to Satawada and returned with a knife. He was ready to kill it at Baba's bidding. He was born in a pure Brahmin family and never in his life knew killing. Though quite averse to do any act of violence, he made himself bold to kill the goat. All the people wondered to see Bad Baba, a Mohammedan, unwilling to kill it, while this pure Brahmin was making preparations to do so. He tightened his dhota and with a semicircular motion raised his hand with the knife and looked at Baba for the final signal. Baba said, "What are you thinking of? Go on and strike." Then, when the hand was just about to come down, Baba said, "Stop! How cruel you are! Being a Brahmin, you are killing a goat." Kaka Sahib obeyed and kept the knife down and said to Baba, "Your nectar word is law unto us. We do not know any other audience. We remember you always, meditate on your form, and obey you day and night. We do not know or whether it is right or wrong to kill. We do not want to reason or discuss things, but implicit and prompt compliance with the Guru's order is our duty and dharma." Then Baba said to Kaka Sahib that he would himself do the offering and killing business. It was settled that the goat should be disposed of a near place called Takya, where fakirs used to sit. When the goat was being removed to that place, it fell dead on the way. Hemad Pant closes this chapter with the classification of disciples. He says that there are three kinds: first or best, second or middling, and third or ordinary. The best kind of disciples are those who guess what the Guru wants and immediately carry it out. Serve them without waiting for an order from them. The average disciples are those who carry out an order of their masters to the letter without any delay. The third kind of disciples are those who go on postponing the carrying out of orders and making mistakes at every step. The disciples should have firm faith backed up by intelligence, and if they have patience to these, their spiritual goal will not be distinct. Control of breath, ingoing and outgoing, or hatha yoga, or other difficult practices are not all necessary. When the disciples get the above-mentioned qualities, they become ready for further instruction, and the masters then appear and lead them on in their spiritual path to perfection. Now, we'll go back into this chapter and we'll look at exactly what transpired here. So when we speak about surrender, to me, there was a conversation about what is actually surrender that was happening about a month ago. And this particular verse, this particular chapter from Sri Sai Sacharita struck so hard because I'd come home that night after listening to a few discussions about this, and I opened my phone and this was the first piece that I had read. And I looked at each person's reaction here. The first was Bad Baba. He himself being the right hand of Shirdi Baba, refused Baba's instruction outright. The second two people, Radha Krishna Mai, who was as Shirdi Baba's sister, took her knife away. You had Shama, one of Baba's most devoted disciples, did not return. And then you had Kakasa, this Brahmin. Now, when we talk about a Brahmin, we all know Brahmins to be the purest of pure. A Brahmin will never kill anything, never alone eat meat, none of those aspects. They live a life of non-violence. So if this Brahmin is living a life of non-violence, what on earth would make someone like this go and listen to Shirdi Baba to kill an animal, you know? And then we go back to listen to what he said. He says here, your nectar word is law unto us. So I took this very strongly, very, very strongly. When I listened to Mohanji speak, and to me it is just the same as listening to our Swamiji, because our Swamiji to me is Baba always speaks directly through him. They are one of the same. And if you listen, you'll hear exactly what Mohanji say. Your nectar word is law unto us. If we don't trust Mohanji's words, or let's say if you are a Satguru devotee, if you cannot trust your Guru's teachings to the T, to the core, where is your faith? Not just in your Guru, but in your tradition. Of course, there is the debate that we have to be logical and practical about these things. Yes, 100%, we definitely have to do that. But do you think that if you can doubt your Guru, that he would do anything to hurt you or something that would not benefit you, then this is already step one of self-doubt, not trusting in your tradition. In surrender, surrender means putting everything aside. When we bow down to our Guru, we lie flat on our tummies, straight out. Why do we do this? Because you surrender everything from the top to your toes. Everything is to your Guru. Then he says, we do not know any other audience. What Kaka Sahib is talking about here is he will entertain nothing else but his Guru. This is why Swamiji always tells us, no matter what tradition someone follows, they should always stick to their Guru with firm faith and conviction. Nobody should jump around tradition and tradition. You were born into something, you be that, and you be it fully, because they will protect you and take care of you as long as you surrender with absolute faith. Because with absolute faith comes unconditional love. With unconditional love comes the flow of grace in your life. That flow of grace will open every door possible for you. Then he says, we remember you always. Every morning when you wake up, you take that breath. You know Mohanji. You know Jesus. You know Allah. These are your creators. This is who you have been from. This is what's running this engine inside you. We meditate on your form. You meditate continuously on your Guru. When something is going good, you are grateful to your Guru. When something's going bad, you should still be grateful, but you will still call upon your Guru. Why would you call upon them? Because you want them to help you. You want your tradition to help you. This is called surrender. If you take this problem and you put it at their feet, they will take care of you. Then we obey you day and night. That is simple now. If we can remember you always and we meditate on your form all the time, day and night, you will be with them. They will flow through you unconditionally, over and over and over again. We do not know or consider whether it is right or wrong. This line here is rather profound, especially in the way that I carry out myself, especially in our ashram, in our daily lives, and the purpose that I hope we are fulfilling all the time for serving others with unconditional love. When we have an instruction that's given to us, people will wonder, why are you not questioning this? But have you ever thought of this? When you go to an altar to pray, people will put their hands together and they will pray for money. Let's be honest. People would pray for money, or they would pray for a new job, or they would pray for a number of things. Sometimes, gratefully, now we're praying for people's health and so forth and so forth. But if we really look at it, if God is all supreme and God is all knowing, how can we go up to God and tell God, God, look here, I know better than you. You now must give me money. That's going to be good for me. That is going to make me happy. And then when this doesn't happen, you will fight with him. You'll tell him, oh, look at you. I just came and offered 2 chicken, 3 goats, and 4 cows to you. And now you're not giving me my million that I asked you for. And you will be upset with him. Oh, I told you I want this job. Now I wasted all this money on all the offerings. You're not giving it to me. But then you're walking across the road to go to the shop, and someone bumps you and you go back across the road, and the next moment a car speeds by and you realize that you are about to be knocked. But what saved you? Your tradition and your faith, because of your surrender. Not just that moment when you went to go pray for all those things, but all the things you had done before that. That eligibility for that tradition has protected you. This is why all the good things that we do, all the unconditional love we show, never goes to waste. They will always protect you, and a tradition always does what is best for you. But you have to show that trust, unwavering trust and faith in your tradition. That true surrender opens all doors. Therefore, again, we do not know or consider whether it is right or wrong to kill. Of course, you know when something is right or wrong, practically, but again, when we look at it from a spiritual perspective, why question God, who should know what's right for us? So in the morning, my ritual is when I come to this spot and I turn Aarti for Baba, I tell him in the morning, Baba, thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you for taking care of all my brothers and sisters that are helping with all your projects. Thank you, Baba, for taking care of my family. Thank you, Baba, for taking care of all my friends, making sure that everybody is safe, everybody is loved, and everybody is cared for. This is the most important thing to me. I thank you. Whatever you feel is right for everyone's constitution, may that be by your grace. May that be by the grace of our tradition. This is what I ask for. Because my Guru means everything to me. My surrender to him is worth more than anything I could ever imagine. Then they say here, we do not want the reasons or discuss these things, exactly as explained now, but implicit and prompt compliance with the Guru's orders is our duty and dharma. There are times when we have conversations with everybody, and Baba always says, the more you empty yourself, the more the tradition can fill you. And I believe this all the time. There are times when you can be sitting with anybody and there will be a conversation that happens or starts or something prime that happens, such as this discussion from the Sri Sai Satcharitra. And where he'll say, this is what I think is right for today. There's no questioning that happens. All I say is, yes, Mohanji, this is what you feel. It shall be as you wish. And these things happen. So to close on that surrender topic, surrender is not going back every single time to that same thing. Surrender is not saying, I'm surrendering this to you, Baba, and then for 2 weeks and 3 weeks, you're still worrying about the same thing, saying, I surrendered this thing. Is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening? Surrender it there. I know this is hard because it's hard for all of us. Let it be. Let it happen. Be grateful for how the tradition takes care of us. Be grateful for how the tradition takes care of our families. We never know what could happen. Like there is I'll share a story with you. There was a devotee last year. The one night at ashram, Swamiji was doing Aarti. And everybody was shocked because Swamiji usually doesn't do Aarti. He allows one of the devotees to do Aarti. So just by this, because we've paid attention to Swamiji's actions and what he does and how he carries himself, because this is a reflection of what we should grow towards. This is him following his guru, him surrendering fully to Baba. So if we cannot watch the people that have done this, how do Baba has just said this week in one of his quotes I read on Facebook. He says, a master is somebody that learns from experiences. But that person also has to learn from somebody that has already experienced. So if you feel you have already experienced everything, there is no space for you to learn from somebody else and for you to let the tradition in. There's no space for Mohanji. There's no space for any guru to grow inside you. That's why they always say, humble ourselves and empty ourselves as much as possible so that more of our traditions can grow. So this time he was doing Aarti and we saw a little particular thing happen. So we watched this process happen and we closed. So after Aarti was done, he gave us a little smile and we all carried on. 3 weeks later, I walked into the ashram and I saw a family there that I'd never seen before. It was a mom, her son, and 2 daughters. So walked up, we greeted them, and everybody sat down and we had meditation. Everyone did Aarti and we closed. So we were talking to them afterwards, and Swamiji calls us to come to him because he had a topic to talk about. And he says to all of us, you see this boy, he's just met in an accident. So I paused and I thought about 3 weeks before that and what had happened to this particular, what had happened in that during that Aarti. So I went back to ask the family. I said, who amongst you is a Mohanji devotee? So the child's mom says, I have been an avid Mohanji devotee all my life. I don't get to come to ashram, but my faith is unwavering in Mohanji. I do Aarti all the time and I adore my guru to bits. He is everything to me. This is the type of bhav that comes from surrender. This is the type of unconditional love that comes from surrender. And Mohanji knows that you love him. When Mohanji knows that this is what he means to you, because the more your unconditional love grows, his quadruples. It just keeps expanding with all that love. And this goes for all traditions as well. In Christianity, the same thing. The more that faith and grace grows, like when you are listening to a Hillsong, that faith and grace will expand and expand inside you, and you'll feel that love grow, because this is what the tradition means to you. So this mom says, I'm full, Mohanji. And when I heard her say this, I turned to Swamiji and I started to laugh. And her son asked me, but why are you laughing? I said, you see, in our tradition, we have a saying that if only one person in a family, if you yourself surrender fully to me, Shirdi Baba's greatest blessing of all, if you surrender fully to me, my promise to you is I will take care of you and your entire family, no doubt. This child's mother doesn't come to ashram, is in her house, but unconditional faith, love, and surrender to Mohanji. And what happens here? I asked Jim, what happened to you? He says, my car went, it got totaled, written off, and I walked out without a scratch. And I laughed. I said, this is thanks to the love of your mother. Because of her unconditional love and grace, Mohanji protected you 100%. And this goes for people in your families who are not even part of your tradition as well. So in our tradition, I fully believe this. And in my own family's life, in my own life, I've seen this, where you make a choice, but you surrender fully to your guru. You've surrendered fully to your tradition. And they take care of everything. They take care of you. They take care of your family. They take care of everything that has to happen in your life. Not saying everything is rainbows and candy floss, but it will all lead you onto the path that you have chosen. This part of the Nath Sampradaya, of our Guru Parampara, the path of Mohanji, Tattatreya Sampradaya, is a path that is of fire, is of liberation and disillusion. Why do we say those two words? It is one thing to be liberated, but to gain disillusion in a life is a whole different aspect. These things can only be gained through the grace of a guru, because you can always walk through a forest by yourself, but if you walk through an unknown forest in the middle of the night, you're going to be eaten by many creatures. But if you are holding the hand of a guide who has a lamp and who knows exactly how to walk through that forest, who knows exactly how to walk the exact path, not for you to get bitten, not for you to get attacked, and will take you right to the top and give you that hug, give you that emergence, then this is called a guru. This is why gurus are so important as well in our lives, because your guru is not there just as an idol. Your guru is there as somebody who guides you, who will lead you, who will show you the right path, who will show you where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, how you are supposed to be going about. But your guru's guidance will only go as far as your faith and surrender in him. Your guru can tell you as much, but you have to also make these steps. This is why we'll go now to conclude in that rituals, especially, are given by these gurus and traditions to teach us that when our energies are low, or when our energies are dropping, not low, wrong word, they give us these little tools like Aarti. Offer Aarti. It will raise your energy. It will raise your frequency. You will feel better. Go and offer, some people offer jal outside their houses. They can do this. Now we have tools such as Guru Puja. Offer Guru Puja every week. Do a meditation. These are the tools that Mohanji has now taught us, now leading us through. Why? Because these are the tools he's giving us to walk through that forest with him. He is holding your hand and taking you through that forest right to the top. And all you have to do is put your hands together and say, I trust you, I trust this tradition, I surrender fully. And this is what surrender actually means. It is about putting your full faith into whichever tradition you have with all your unconditional love. Thank you everybody for joining tonight.